Hello everyone, this video will cover Modules 7 and 8. So we're moving past the argument essay and into the research units. We'll have quite a few units devoted to the research paper, but we're going to start off with how to find sources. So the way that these part of the class will be set up is that first we're going to do some research. You pick your research topic, find some sources, and then you're going to write what's called an annotated bibliography. And that annotated bibliography is a list of sources that you plan on using in your research paper with a paragraph about each source. So it counts as an essay assignment, but it's not actually an essay. So don't think of it like an essay. Otherwise, you'll get confused. So we're going to be doing that here in Modules 7 and 8. I went ahead and opened both modules for you because Module 7 only has a quiz and then the research topic proposal. Once you've filled out the proposal and you've been approved for your topic, then you can start your research, and that will give you a longer amount of time to finish the annotated bibliography. The bibliography takes a little while, not because it's difficult, but just because it takes some time to find all of those sources. And so you want to leave yourself enough time to find the sources, read about them, and then write about them. Once we get past Module 8, that's when we'll start working on the actual research paper. So we're not looking at the paper yet at all. You're just picking your topic and then starting to do research on it. So let me go over the assignments for you, and we'll see what you're going to be working on. So you can see Module 7 is mostly about evaluating sources. We've got some readings here and then some stuff about information literacy, which is one of the key topics for the class. It's part of those outcomes that we have to meet for the class. You also have the CRAP test here. And this is just one of the methods that you can use to evaluate sources. I encourage students to look through this using this terminology like currency, relevance, authority, etc. And that's a good way to evaluate your sources. Once you start working on that annotated bibliography, you'll see what I mean. So in this module, though, the only thing you're doing is looking over that, evaluating sources of information, taking the quiz, and then submitting your research topic proposal. So the research paper, which has not been assigned yet, it won't be assigned until Module 9, is the longer paper that you're going to write for the class. So it's supposed to be sort of that culminating project for Comp 2, and means that it's going to be a topic that needs to, you'll need to be able to write a longer paper about it. You'll need to be able to find at least 12 sources about it as well. It does not need to be an argument topic. A lot of students feel like they need to choose an argument. You don't need to choose an argument. It can be any type of topic. A lot of students end up with more of an informative topic, and that's fine. It's kind of up to you. If you enjoy writing about argument, multiple sides, that kind of thing, then you're welcome to choose something particularly, something that's current, relevant, that kind of thing. Otherwise, I would just pick a topic you're interested in researching. Really, the best types of topics that students choose are ones that I can tell as a reader that you actually wanted to learn more about it. And that's the key part of this, is it really needs to be something that you want to do some research on. Otherwise, you'll be miserable for the next couple of modules. So make sure that you're picking something that you want to research. So once you've chosen your topic or have at least one idea, you're going to fill out this as a topic proposal and submit it. Just a short paragraph kind of explaining what you're interested in doing for your research paper. Your research topic needs to be approved by me. It should be, I'm not worried about you picking something inappropriate. I'm more worried about being able to steer you in the right direction. So for example, if you are interested in World War II, that's great. That's a huge topic. So I would be encouraging you to narrow it down to something more specific. Are you talking about the Pacific campaign? Are you talking about the campaign in Europe? Which part of World War II? Can you focus on a specific battle? Can you focus on a specific person? Can we get more and more narrowed down? Because 7 to 9 pages sounds like a long essay, but if you're really doing good research, you need to have a pretty narrowed topic in order to be able to do that. So it also needs to be something you find 12 sources about. So keep that in mind, that's kind of the restricting criteria for this, is you have to be able to find 12 sources about your topic. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter what topic you pick. So once you submit your topic proposal, I'll kind of keep an eye on this, and once I see them start to pop up, I'll provide feedback. If you want feedback right away, you also can always email me and say, hey, I submitted this, can you take a look at it? That way I know that somebody's waiting on me to approve it. If you submit something and then change your mind, you can submit again. If you have more than one idea, you can submit more than one idea, and I can tell you which one I think would work. You can also, of course, email me, especially after the module is closed. Then we get into module 8. So I'm going to go ahead and move into the next module with this video so you can see what we're doing. This is the annotated bibliography module. And as you can see, I just have a bunch of stuff linked in here. We don't actually have a lot of assignments. It's just the annotated bibliography in module 8. So we really aren't working with too many different kinds of topics here, or different kinds of assignments, but the annotated bibliography is the main thing that you're doing. It's going to take you a little while, so let's look at the criteria. An annotated bibliography is a list of sources with a paragraph written for each source. It is not an essay, but it does count the same as an essay for the class as far as points are concerned. So the only thing it has in common with an essay would be the introductory paragraph, which outlines what the research parameters were that you use. Then after that introductory paragraph, so fairly short introduction, then you have 12 sources listed like you would on a works cited page. So you have those works cited MLA citations, and then underneath each citation is one paragraph that explains the source and evaluates it. So you're going to have one 5 to 8 sentence paragraph for each source that will summarize the content, so tell us what it's about, a couple of sentences, and then explain the credibility and usefulness for it. We want to use evaluation terminology, talk about the things listed in the CRAP test. So, you know, if it's current source, or if it's maybe a few years old, you know, you would mention that, and then you would explain how that helps or hinders the source. So let's say you have this psychology article. It's really good information, but it was published in 2001. That's pretty old. So you would put something in there like, you know, information seems relevant, but there are probably newer studies out there. So that would help evaluate the credibility of the source. 12 different sources. They can be really any types of sources, but you need to have represented within the 12 at least 4 different types. They can be all electronic. That's fine. So an ebook is going to count differently from an article. So you might have an ebook, a video, an article, encyclopedia source, something like that. You can also look for, you could do personal interview with someone, you could do a documentary, you could look at TV show episodes, you could look for government sources. There are lots of different types of sources. So if you are confused as to what I mean by different types of sources, I don't mean that you have to find a book, but it would be helpful if you could, or an ebook would be a good idea. So you can always email me if you're not sure if you have those types of sources represented in your list. So once you have your sources, your 12 sources, you look through them, and then you write the paragraph about each one. There's an example in your textbook on page 449 in Rules for Writers. That's the one I want you to follow. You'll see it's the works cited entry listed, and then the paragraph underneath, and you just do that 12 times. So it is pretty long when you're done. There's no page length here because it's however long it takes you to write 5 to 8 sentences about all 12 of your sources. The way that you lose points, obviously, is by not having 12 sources or not writing enough. So you're really not writing that much about each source. It doesn't take you that long, but what takes the most amount of time is finding all of those sources and then sitting down to write about them. It's very repetitive. There are not really any elements of an essay to this. So you have no thesis statement. You don't have to worry about topic sentences. You don't have internal documentation. So you don't have things in parentheses. None of that. We're just looking at 12 works cited entries, 12 paragraphs, 1 introduction, and then that's it. That's the assignment. So it sounds easy, but it takes a little while because there is so much involved in just the writing of it. So once you have that done, obviously you'll submit it. There's some resources here to help you out. And I've also linked in some information from the library, from the Allen College Library, and some other videos for you to help with databases. I really encourage you to use the Allen Library database for articles, just because those are going to be the best for you and a good place to start. Depending on your topic, you may not find much, and that's okay if you need to start expanding to Google. And then, of course, this is where you're going to submit your annotated bibliography when you're done. I grade it just like I grade an essay with a rubric, but I will say that because we don't have a lot of the essay conventions, I'm not looking for a lot of like really fancy language or anything like that. So I tend to grade this a little bit easier because really it's a research tool for you. So the whole idea with this is we're going to go through all 12 of these sources that you have. And by the time you get to writing the research paper in the next module, then you'll be really comfortable with your topic and with what's out there. And so it'll make it so much easier to write your paper. So that's just the whole purpose. It's a research tool for you so that you can be better successful with your essay. So that's the 2 modules that we'll be looking at right now. Hopefully you're doing well. If you have any trouble,